Hey everyone, we're back on coverage here. We're currently getting ready for round 10 of the Swiss. So we have two more rounds after this round 10 before the top 8 cut, but things are getting spicy here, Simon.
Yeah, they're really narrowing down here.
Yep.
I got a report from what happened at the top 4 tables. So remember we had 6 players at 8 and 1, at 7 and 1 going into the
last round. Yep.
Yeah, and we had Tristan LeBon on the blue red deck beating Christopher Lyngso on red black mid range. So got him in the future match area in the backup. His blue red Merchandise deck. Then we got Daniel Lind of the World Magic Cup debate in
local World Magic Cup competitor, did a great job yesterday with Yawgmoth, and he's picking up where he left off.
Indeed, yeah, he did beat another Danish player from Aalborg, Mark Fosberg Jensen on Living End.
Yep.
So now we have him in the feature match area. He's up against Joonas Himmanen, who's on the Valakut on the Valakut deck.
Yep.
Last round, he beat Alessandro Teneggi on the Tameshi deck. So he got paired down into the draw bracket and beat Alessandro down into an X2-1 spot where he really needs to win out.
Yep.
Win the last
No
round
more.
if he needs to make the 2.
Yep, no more chances. Has to win out from
Jonas
here.
Himmanen, though, is sitting alongside Daniel and Tristan at the top 3 of the scoreboard here. 3 8 and 1s remain in the tournament. And then we have Michael Kame on Living End playing against Samuel Giselson on the Jeskai Lotus field deck that we saw yesterday.
Yep.
And as we know, Samuel was actually the only undefeated player left in the tournament at 602. He is indeed still undefeated at 603.
But he didn't win.
At 603.
So 603 is the same as 7-2 record?
That is exact same as a 7-2 record.
Yep.
So he's drawn, even though he's undefeated, he's now with the X and 2s, where he needs to win the next 2 rounds to potentially draw into top 8 as a full
With 4 draws? That would be awesome.
That would be an actual undefeated run, right?
Yeah, that counts. that sure does count.
804 would be that record. So he's looking to win the next 2 rounds. And Michael Kame, he's sitting in X11, so he still has that loss to give, but he can no longer count on drawing into the top 8.
Right.
So he will
already has that loss, basically.
To make the top 8 here.
Yep.
But for our feature match players here, this is table 1. Daniel Lind on Yawgmoth versus Jonas Himmanen on red-green Valakut. And what's going on here is that these players, they are 8 and 1 here at round 9.
Yep.
And if they win, they'll go to the 9 wins. And as I said last round, 9, 2, and 1 will probably make the top 8. So they can probably, if they win this round, even if they lose next round, they can probably draw into this.
This might be very good news.
This might be a winning in for top 8 we're watching here.
Yeah, and then again, it could get disrupted by pair downs, etc.
Exactly.
But points-wise, I think the math checks out on that one. So yeah, we're ready to get the players underway. Thanks so much for the report, Simon.
Yeah,
they're just waiting for the go sign here, and the action will be right underway. So yeah, on the top you see Joonas. I assume he's a Finnish player, judging by the name.
Yes.
He's playing red-green Valakut, which is a personal favorite of mine, not gonna lie. And he's playing against local hero Daniel Lind, playing the black-green Yawgmoth. Was he the only Yawgmoth player on day 2?
No, he was one of 3.
Oh, one of 3? Okay,
yeah.
But at least he's the top-performing one.
Yes.
Winning the die roll here is obviously crucial, especially in a matchup that could come down to racing. So
we actually have a Yawgmoth player who is still in contention for top 8 as well at X2.
Okay, so
Victor Gertsen from Aarhus.
Awesome.
All right, so we lead off here with a ignoble hierarch.
It's So I just read the chat here. I think it's with 2 O's, but
it is with 2 O's,
do pronounce it as I would with 1 O. So who knows?
No, that is exactly because it's a long vowel. So you just put 2 of them and finish.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Alright, so Strangle Guys coming down here, take 1 damage from the Nurturing Peatland, but just getting the damage on to the Valakut player, who already shocked on turn 1 to bolt, not bolt the bird, but bolt the goblin in this case.
It did bolt the goblin,
the goblin Manador.
The goblin hit the bin.
And now we're fetching, probably to play some sort of ram spell. There are quite a few ram spells in this
Lots of redundancy in these decks.
There's also Renan 6, but it is not very good against Strangleroot Geist.
Renan 6 against Strangleroot Geist will maybe help.
You can plus it at least, but if you minus it, it'll just come back as a 3-2 and kill the Ren right away.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true, but then it's better against... Does the deck still play Eldritch Evolution?
Yes, the Yawgmoth deck is on a 3 or 4 Eldritch Evolution. I see 4 in Daniel's list, 4 Court of Calling, 4 Yawgmoth. These
So-
at 4 Grist, the Hunger type.
Ren and 6, pinging the Stranglewood Geist would be better against a card like turn 3 Eldritch Evolution, but other than that,
Yes,
not too much use.
that is true.
Going
Yeah,
for Sakura instead. Sakura is against attackers, it's like the combination of ramp and life gain.
yeah, it's
I just
really
love
nice. The issue is that that's not really what the game is about, though, in this matchup, because Daniel is a combo deck. He's not just a random creature deck. Okay, well, I might take back my voice. Maybe he is just a
And
random
as
creature
you say
deck.
that, he enters Stompy mode.
With the second Stranglewood guys. Does he also have a 1-mana card to follow up with? Wrist in his hand.
Good
This Planeswalker is very unique to this deck. Which gets to, like, for instance, like kill a Titan. Like, -2 to sacrifice a creature and kill something. +1 to make a 1/1
At that
token.
point, you would need to like push through lethal combat damage. Otherwise, the damage could be done against Primeval Titan specifically. But yeah, for sure, lots of flexibility.
Oh, and follows up with a Yawgmoth. Yeah, playing a 1-mana card here is huge. That will make his Court of Calling next turn be able to get a Yawgmoth. And with these Undying creatures in play already, that means that the Yawgmoth can actually, like, draw a bunch of cards.
Oh, for sure, Undying Creatures and Yawgmoth. That's a very iconic duo.
So let's see what Joonas can do for 3 mana. He's probably just wishing then for a Valakut. Or maybe he's wishing for a...
It looks like a Dryad here, but
Oh, a Dryad. That makes more sense, yeah. Because his sideboard does not have Grafdigger's Cage, which is one of the better hate cards against Yawgmoth.
I agree.
It's actually not very popular in the metagame right now.
It isn't, but it has like good in Wish and in Karn sideboards. It does see some play here and there.
Yeah, but not even always in these Wish and Karn sideboards. And
Okay.
I think that's part of why Yawgmoth is actually pretty well positioned right now, because
Yep.
one of the best hate cards against it. That both stops the Undying and the ability to search up cards with
Yeah,
Eldritch
no
Evolution and
no
Court.
creature tutoring, no Undying shenanigans.
Alright, so Dry comes into play, and you get to make 2 land drops. And since that fetch land is also a forest, you can just tap it for mana and play a Sakura Tribe-Elder. So now the mana is really set up, and this Dryad is super scary because it represents that just escape shift for
With
for
6
6
lands
lands
and-
is
yep.
going to be lethal.
And also the Sakura right now is a lightning bolt on a stick.
Yeah, if there's a Valakut in play. There's
I'm
not. It's a Dwarven Mine.
Oh, it's a Dwarven Mine.
Yes. So the
That's
sleeve
not
in
the
play
first
is
one to go into
yeah.
that trap. Was it you or Andrea yesterday?
It's never me. It was a. So
one
the red
player
sleeve in
had
play-
one player had different Valakut artwork, so we just assumed it was a dwarf. And Andrea was so sure that we would have to go and stop the players from putting a dwarf into play because it entered tapped with Titan, but it was just a Valakut all along. So yeah, false alarm.
Wow, yeah. But yeah, the red token, the red sleeve is indeed a 1/1 goblin token. It
Yep.
seems like Daniel does not have a land here, but does he have a wrist maybe?
Yeah, the Grist is good in this situation because you don't want to let your opponent untap with the Dryad.
Yeah, it's really important you can kill the Dryad here. It's still very scary if Joonas has like either the 7th land, because the Sakura Tribal will get the 6th land.
Uh huh.
He
Seven
has
land
7th
wish.
land and Wish for the escape shift kill, because Daniel is at 15.
Yeah.
Or if he has a Titan, which will also wreak havoc on Daniel's board.
Yep. As long as Daniel is not doing anything like unfair, then Primeval Titan will be the king.
Alright, so we see Daniel minus Grist down to 1 and just going to attack mode here, even
Yep.
though there are 1/1s in play.
Killing
To kill the
off the
Grist.
Dryad, but getting back a 3/2 haster.
Alright, so what's happening here is
The blocking the Geist comes in.
blocking the Geist, which
Both of
kills
them.
the Geist, but it comes back as Undying.
Yep.
The other 3/2 Geist is blocked by the Sakura Tribe Elder.
Yep.
Remember, these dice, you can't really see the number, but it's basically a +1 counter from Undying that are on these Strangleroot Geists.
Yep. And a Young Wolf gets in for 2. Grist is currently at 1 loyalty, correct?
Grist is only at 1 loyalty too.
Yep.
But now it's not really in danger of getting attacked by 1/1s. That's something I was afraid of with this
Oh,
attack.
yeah.
But I wonder if the reason that Daniel goes this aggressive with his attacks is because he's actually on a fair game plan. this game.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
not
think he
just
cares much about the Grist at this point. It did its job.
So on the other hand, if you do combo off with a Geralt's Messenger,
Yeah.
you have to have a higher life total than your opponent for it to be lethal.
Okay. I see.
Because Yawgmoth is sacrificing 2 creatures for the combo,
Yeah.
and Messenger deals 2 damage.
Okay.
So actually, that is a limitation of the
So,
Yawgmoth deck,
and,
that your life total is very relevant.
non-symmetric life total is what the doctor ordered here for Daniel.
Yes, I mean, but it might change very soon with, now I see another Dwarf Throne come into play, but, oh yeah, and there's a forest, I see.
Yep.
So this looks a lot like a Primeval Titan, if I've ever seen one.
Primeval
Titan
Titan.
comes down.
So just funny little thing here. Searching for the forest. Once you hit 5 mountains, you should do that. You want to like it doesn't matter
Yeah,
if you play the 6 mountain
exactly.
out, so it's just a small
Yeah,
thing
unless
here.
you've already drawn the Valakut, the 6 mountain doesn't do anything. So actually having a basic forest is not that bad for the Valakut deck.
Yep.
And yeah, you can get a Stomping Ground and a Valakut. And we see Daniel with his classic, like, can I just take my turn? Can I just take my turn, please? On tapping his cards. But yeah, there is indeed a Valakut and a mountain coming into play, so more things will happen, Daniel. Also, there's a land drop remaining, I'm pretty sure.
So when did the forest hit the play?
From the Sakura Tri Builder.
Okay.
And
Got
then
it.
the fetch land got the Dwarven Mine.
Yep.
So there's still a land drop remaining, which could also shoot down more things. But I think since Joonas didn't get 2 Valakuts, I don't think he has a land.
I was about to
guess.
say, then wouldn't it be smarter to get 2 Valakuts, play the land, and then get your 2 triggers right away? Or maybe he has a fetch land and he wants the flexibility of 1 trigger on his own turn, 1 trigger on the opponent's turn. So I think a fetch land is still possible. Yeah, so many choices here for Joonas. What should I do with my Valakut triggers?
Yeah, trigger, it's only 1.
Yeah, for now.
Landing
Okay,
mode,
okay.
yeah.
I guess I'm just assuming a land drop as well. But yeah,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He probably doesn't have a land if he didn't search up 2 Valakuts.
Yep, that could be.
So, yeah, what do you kill here? I think there's a lot of merit to just, like, getting rid of the amount of creatures in Daniel's deck.
Yeah. Yeah, with Court of Calling, the context of Court of Calling, context of preserving your life total against, let's call it, mediocre beatdown.
Yes,
So
exactly.
do you expect the Stranglewood guys to hit the bin?
I think you would have to kill a Stranglewood here.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. I don't think the Grist really matters much. It's also another like creature, but it's so easy to like they just make a 1/1 and just take care of it next turn. I wonder if there's a ruling here, going on because the mountain was fetched before the Valakut. Maybe that's a judge question here.
The mountain was...
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It does not matter. Did it come into play at the same time?
Exactly. Primeval Titan searches up 2 lands.
Yeah, but I think there was something about like since Daniel assumed that he was just getting his turn. I think that he's view of what happened this turn is different from what Joonas thinks happened.
Yeah, fair
It
enough.
might be something to clear up.
Some clarification here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough to say without the audio. We only have like minimal body language. But
Like maybe Joonas played the Titan and just said go, while he was searching his deck.
okay.
Maybe that's a missed trigger, you know. So it's hard to say what's actually going on here, but at least we got the judge involved. We have a table judge for the 2 feature match areas.
Yep.
And
We'll just have to wait and see what happens here.
do you want to do a short check-in on the other table?
We
Where we
could.
have John versus Blue Red.
We could.
So it's actually like the Saga John deck here, with a Shadow Spear, and 2 Planeswalkers now. But that one is getting spell pierced.
That's a juicy
I
spell
hope
pierce.
that they're sitting at the wrong seats. I hope that sitting is at the bottom here. Does
Yep.
not have this land. Yeah, he doesn't need to have an untapped land.
Yeah, so
Oh,
do you
okay.
see? Yeah, so that's like this. I'm not gonna call it the shameful land drop, but maybe that was what is it part of his plan to keep the. It's tough to say because
I don't think you're trying to like bait out a spell pierce to resolve a Ragavan. That does not.
that is true, but maybe
Yeah.
you wanted to discard the land in case Liliana resolved. Maybe
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
something to be
that's
said.
actually true, yeah. But you could also just like not discard nothing, right? Because you had nothing in hand. These are the only 2 cards in his hand. now.
Okay.
So it would actually play the land after resolving the Liliana. Play the Ragavan and then plus Lily is what I would assume would happen.
Okay, it's tough to see. We were missing some context here.
Yeah.
Basically, we just saw 3-drop get spell pierced with only 1 mana available, and then the second line being played. But who knows?
Yeah, we can go back to the other match here.
Yep.
Okay, so actually it seems like nothing got killed because Joonas did probably just play the Titan and pass.
Okay, but the 2 lands are still in play.
Yes. Yeah. So he probably like.
So you're saying missed
Because
Valakut trigger?
Yeah, so he doesn't have to like announce trigger when he plays Titan. If he like
It
as he
just
picks up
goes
his
to-
deck,
yep.
he just says go.
Yep.
That's fine. You're resolving the trigger,
Yep.
and
Okay. So
Maybe-
just by picking up your deck, it shows that you're resolving your primetime trigger.
yes, exactly,
But the 3 damage you have to announce.
exactly.
Okay.
Because you have to choose a target for them. So yeah, as like dexterous misstep from Joonas or a technical misstep, but it is this is day 2. We're playing for a lot of money.
We are playing
And
competitive REL, so
It
we-
does matter, right? Like,
yeah, it could definitely matter.
You got the info that like Daniel wasn't gonna, I don't know, like Port of Calling at the end of turn, or something like that, right? Sometimes there's actually info you can gain.
So instead of us or the judge like having to decide each case, we have to like draw the line somewhere.
Yes, and so the line is
Play technically correct.
yeah, exactly. If you have to announce the trigger, you have to show that you're aware of the trigger when it's relevant that it happens. And for a card like Valakut that has to choose a target, it's indeed when it chooses a target. So
all triggers matter. That's a good way to sum it up.
yes. Oh, we see a Boseiju in Daniel's hand, which can kill the Valakut. The issue is that the Grist is at 1 loyalty, so you can't kill the Titan here. But that could be a cool way to stabilize. Oh, it only counts mountains? No, Dwarven Mine is a mountain too.
Yeah.
So there's 6 mountains to play.
2 basic mountains, 2 stomping ground,
And 2 actual mountains. Yeah, 2 Dwarven Mine.
and 2 dwarven mine. Yeah.
So this is
What
all
trigger
good.
got missed? I just drummed in. We think it was 1 Valakut trigger from Primeval Titan fetching stomping ground and Valakut.
I think what happened was Primeval Titan, like, search your deck and then say go as you're searching your deck. Just a shortcut. But
That's a good guess, but we can't really know.
that's true. You thought these were 3 Valakuts? Oh, no one's gonna make that mistake.
Yeah, no. only 2/3 of the coverage team. 2/3 of the coverage team already made that mistake, so not a problem.
He's still in a lot of trouble against this Titan, right? If he can't answer it, and his life total is gonna be under duress, so Yawgmoth might not necessarily be very good.
So
and all his creatures already have counters on them because they're that. So okay,
Elder's Evolution.
so you can search up a Yawgmoth right now. And because you can sacrifice the insect token to put a minus counter on one of the undying creatures,
Yep.
that will start the loop.
Uh-huh.
And then you can sacrifice that to put a minus counter on this other undying creature.
Uh-huh.
And then like he'll like basically like, get a thing back with a counter on it and remove a counter from the other thing.
Okay.
Plus counters and minus counters cancel each other out.
So where does he end up?
He ends up like having paid a life to draw a card, essentially. He also has to does have to sacrifice the insect token to start the loop as well.
Insect token getting your thing started. 2 undying creatures.
Yes. But the issue is playing life to draw a card is not actually that good against Primeval Titan.
Exactly. So
And-
now he has a lot of card advantage, but
Yeah, normally you would hope that you could like draw into a Port of Calling, so you could court for a Blood Artist, and that's the way you turn that into a kill.
right.
We don't actually have the board state right here to turn that into a kill.
No board state related payoff for drawing a bunch of cards.
And
Does it help that he has a land drop to go?
Yes, that could help, except he actually has to sacrifice the insect token, as I said, to start the loop.
Yeah.
Because there are minus counters on these creatures.
Right.
Wait, it actually seems like the trigger did get hit. I just realized now. The Yawgmoth didn't have a counter on it. But Joonas decided to target the Yawgmoth. So actually, whatever dispute that was, it got fixed, and Joonas got to did not miss the Valakut trigger
Okay.
in the end.
Yeah, that's a good catch because Yawgmoth was a 1/1 left.
And that's
last
extremely
time we checked.
important, right? Because that means he has to sacrifice the insect to start the loop.
Yep.
And sacrificing the insect to start the loop means that he can no longer draw into Court of Calling. So I now wonder, like, the attack last turn where he traded off a Stranglewood Geist Undying for a Dwarf token.
Yep.
Was that actually worth it?
Well,
Because
yeah, I can definitely see why he was stuck between 2 plans. Am I a beatdown deck? Am I a combo deck?
he
And
might have not had the Eldritch Revolution in hand at that point. So it might have been like, correct for him to
the
be.
plan might have
actually
changed based on the draw step. That's a good point. So, can you find statistics anywhere? Well, we have our local statistician. No, that's not a word.
That is a word.
It is statistician Simon Nielsen. He's channeling his inner Rich Hagen and did a very good job going into the previous round and this round.
Against the Titan?
Yeah,
Ouch.
it's very rare that you don't get the job done here from the Titan shift point of view because let's see. You get to search up 2 lands, so Valakut plus mountain would be 6 damage, and then all you need is 1 mountain in hand or away.
He even searches up 2 Valakuts, then you know it's trouble. Then you know there's a land coming as well.
Okay, and then he's trying to
Short
shortcut
wish
here.
for escape shift too.
Wishing for escape shift is just fine. I think Daniel knows the text of that card. I've played against him many times, and he's seen that card before.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, so that game felt kind of back and forth, don't you think? Like,
A little bit, yeah, because Daniel was extremely close to comboing.
Yeah, he was close to comboing. He was also close to getting there with like his beatdown
That
deck.
trigger from the Valakut decided the game. Potentially. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not for sure that he would have found a Court of Calling
Yeah.
in the top, I don't know, like 10, 12 cards of his
Yeah,
deck,
because his life
depending on how
total
much-
was like a bit over 10.
Exactly. I think he had 13 life. And so you have to, 14 maybe. So you can draw until you have 1 life left.
Yeah.
And because you also have to, like, once you run this in play, you still have to sacrifice something to start
Yep.
to do.
Yeah, so that one Valakut trigger basically relegated Daniel to a beatdown deck, and against the Primeval Titan getting to untap and attack, not gonna get there the majority of the
get there.
time.
Yeah, I mean, he did have the combo in play.
Yeah.
He did have, pay 1 mana, draw a card, but he didn't have any more mana to work with, so
Definitely.
it didn't matter. And he
So
was-
Simon, I want to take a little look at the two player sideboards
Yes,
here.
let's
How
do that
can
here.
you do we have the right ones?
Yeah,
yeah,
these
we
are the
do.
right ones.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so some thought seizes here in
There's Necromantia going on in the Yawgmoth deck.
yeah, so
is-
cool interaction is I think the the Titan Shift deck will have 1 copy of Valakut in the sideboard, so
Yes.
it can actually beat Necromantia.
Necromantia can name lands.
I'm pretty sure it's any card, yeah, because you can use it in Pioneer against Lotus Field and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Also, Thought Seizers might come in.
Yeah, I think that's just necessary evil, not necessarily the answer to all your problems, but it is like a way to get rid of that one payoff card and get there.
I wonder if Joonas is gonna bot in Veil of Summer. Maybe not for game 2, but for game 3 when you see these cyborg cards from Daniel.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
like-
true. That's just a 1-mana cryptic command against these cards.
Yeah, and
It's,
it can stop like a Grist activation on your killing your Titan or your Dryad.
yeah, that's also a black source. Definitely.
Or even Yawgmoth.
yeah,
If Yawgmoth tries to kill your Dryad, you can also stop that. It's not very good because they can probably just do it again in your own turn.
Yeah.
You can stop Blood Artist's triggers.
is that
Because
target?
it's targeted.
It's target player. It's not each opponent. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe even Gerald's Messenger is targeted. So there's a chance you could actually stop a combo.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would
with
have to. I'm not quite. Geralf's Messenger. In my head, it's just like it's each opponent loses 2 life. Or is it 3? Oh, it's 2, right?
It's 2, yeah.
It's 2. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not
but-
sure about the. Okay, let's see here. It's just about target opponent.
Target
Yes,
opponent.
Exactly. It's from an era.
You got it.
It's because Blood Artist and Messenger were like printed in back-to-back sets.
Okay.
Just back at the time where they just
There you go.
the wording they had was target opponent.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect clarification there, and yeah, good memory, and definitely these small things. But yeah, as you said, you kind of need to see these impactful black sideboard cards in order to
Yes.
make that change. That would at least be my priority. I
Uh-huh.
need to
Yeah, I'm not-
see it to believe it.
There's one Flame Slash which might come in, or maybe because it answers Yawgmoth.
Yeah.
Maybe it's left in the sideboard to get with Wish. So that's always something you have to think about.
Yep.
And then we have like 3 Chalices. I don't think they could come in. 2 Relic of Progenitus. Don't. I think those are actually going to be important here.
Yeah, if you have a Relic of Progenitus in play, it can be kind of complicated for the Yawgmoth deck to actually get there, because it.
They just need an extra Undying creature though. It's
Okay.
not even that complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
That's true. So maybe it's not good enough. It's still like
no, you definitely bought it in. It
Okay.
definitely matters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is also like sort of easy to play through.
So good question here. Is Magus of the Moon in the Yawgmoth sideboard? It is.
It is not. So yeah, some lists play Magus, specifically Yuta Takahashi recently has won a challenge with Yawgmoth with Magus in the sideboard.
Yeah, and
Which is interesting because the Yawgmoth deck itself is kind of weak to Magus itself.
yeah,
The mana base being you have to triple black and double green. You
yeah.
know?
Some cards are very complicated to cast, but if the upside is there, I can definitely see
Exactly,
it
yeah,
being
in
worth
certain
a shot,
matchups.
a slot.
Like
Rather.
against Amulet, for instance, the Magus
Yep.
is incredibly good.
Yep. Totally agree, and a very relevant question in this Valakut matchup. So,
And the fact you can search it up so easily too.
yep.
So important.
Did we see a few mulligans coming in here, or am so bad at the?
No, I think they're still shuffling up for pre-game actions. So this is. I think they're going to draw their opening hands here.
Okay.
Just doing a little bit of cutting.
I think play draw is somewhat huge in this matchup. It's always been with Titan Shift, right?
Oh, that is a snap mulligan from Daniel.
Yep. It looks like a keep
Yawgmoth,
from the red-green Valakut perspective. I see Stomping Ground and a Search for Tomorrow. Then the rest of the cards needs to be quite bad for it not to be a keep.
And yeah,
4 lands, Dryad, Wish, and Search for Tomorrow. That sounds fine.
that sounds very fine. Yeah. definitely keep that. That's the thing about Valakut deck. It does not mulligan super well. So you kind
I
of
agree.
keep.
I agree. We actually discussed that a bit yesterday. Valakut played against Living End, and Andrea thought that Valakut was the deck that mulliganed the best, and I didn't really agree.
Yeah.
I was
no, the living in the deck mulligan's great.
Yeah, that's what I think too. And I talked a bit about like the Valakut deck needing like critical mass.
Yeah, indeed. You need
so
7 lands plus another card.
Yeah, that was basically my argument, but it was a cool discussion.
Plus some
sure.
interaction, maybe. All right, turn 1 Thoughtseize here. Vela's not going to save you against that. That's another reason to only board in Vela on the draw as well.
Play rather.
On the play, I mean.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so Search of Horror gets taken here. And now this hand is rather slow, but, maybe Daniel's hand is slow too.
Yep.
And here's a Swamp Stomping Ground.
Yeah, a Junt duel.
All right, so you got to fetch probably a basic forest because Urborg fixes everything for black.
That would make a lot of sense. And Urborg is probably not leaving the
field. This is the deck that plays both Urborg and Yavimaya because
that's cool.
Those are the requirements on the mana.
Yep. That is definitely the easiest bayou of Daniel's life that he's searching up here.
Oh, I also like that he probably did not play the ignoble hierarch on turn 1. He played Thoughtseize instead.
Yeah, so there's pros and cons to that play, because actually we also talked a bit about this yesterday. The longer you wait with your discard spell against the Titan Shift deck, the more draw steps you give them to find that one payoff card that's going to decide the game.
Maybe
eventually.
You don't want to take the payoff. Maybe you want to take the search.
Exactly. So that's the downside of waiting. So the upside of going for it is you can take care of the best early play out of the Titan Shift deck. So
yeah.
So that's how most Magic decisions are, right? It's what's the pros, what's the cons, what do I value in this situation?
There's also like you can take a bolt to protect your ignoble hierarch, for instance. Like maybe
if your mana base is fragile. Yep, definitely.
Okay, so you see Strangleroot guys coming in, dealing 2 points of damage.
This is actually 3 with the Exalted, yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh no, is there another Okay, I don't think there's much okay, there wasn't any mistrigger discussion there, yeah.
No missed triggers, but potentially missed damage, because with Urborg, if you need black mana, you can tap your Peat land for black, but in this case it was actually green.
So you have to take another point in there.
Yeah, you can't cheat on the damage there. Red-green Valakut. So you'll like this, Simon, because this is right up my alley. Red-green Valakut mulligan so horribly that I would keep a lot of shady 6s to avoid going to 5. I love that.
Yeah, depends on how you define shady 6, right? Like, it could just be like what you define as a shady 6, I define as unkeepable.
Okay.
Right? But I also agree I keep shady 6s.
Yeah.
But it might be that, like, my shady 6s are your snap keeps,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we don't know that for sure. But I think it resembles my mindset. I'm so scared of mulligan.
Dryad comes down here, and there's a Titan in hand. And actually, it seems like there's a Bolt, too, which can be cast off the Boseiju.
Oh, yeah, the sneaky... The sneaky
so if there's
Bolt.
2 untapped lands in Jonas' hand, that is Titan coming down.
I was about to say.
Not. Wish and Dryad. Those are terrible cards here. And now the Strangleroot guard is big enough to attack through the Dryad, actually, with the 2 Exalted triggers. But actually, I think we're just going to go ahead and Eldritch Evolution.
So let's see what the evolution brings.
No, I think Jonas actually had to respond with both. With Bolt. As when the Strangleroot guys comes back from the Undying, you can bolt it then before Yawgmoth comes into play.
Yeah.
Now you don't have a chance to bolt the Strangleroot guys because at any point Daniel can just sacrifice one of his mana creatures to remove the counter.
And then Undying kicks in and Bolt is bad. So one thing here that I noticed that Daniel didn't demonstrate. This is an additional cost. This goes to the yard. Now comes the Undying trigger. He's kind of fast-forwarded over that one.
Yes, but that's okay, right? We're talking about shortcutting is important.
Yeah.
It's also a responsibility of the opponent if they want to respond at a certain time to stop something.
I agree. I'm just saying you can make it less clear or more clear depending on how you communicate with your opponent.
It's definitely always nice to be, super precise about exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But you're also not required to, and being precise is something that can cost you time.
I agree.
Like we saw the Alessandro Tinecci turn with the Tameshi deck that took 15 minutes because he was extremely precise.
Okay.
It also has a cost where you just end up spending a lot of time on your turns. Okay, so you see Wish searching for a Valakut here.
Yep.
Is there an additional land drop now drawn for the turn to trigger the Dryad?
I am...
There's not. Even if there was, though, the Yawgmoth could actually still kill the Dryad.
Yeah. So let's think here. Didn't Didn't he have a stomping ground in hand?
No. His hand was like Dryad, Wish, Titan, and
Okay.
Hood.
Oh, okay, so no land to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just assumed that
had
you
it in
said
hand.
there. Oh, if there's 2 untapped lands, he's there, and there isn't. I just thought it was
Oh,
1.
yes.
But it was actually 0.
Yeah, it's actually, so he was really far away. He couldn't even top deck it out
Yep.
of it. But yeah, he didn't draw land here. And now the Strangler guys, they're coming in for 5. You know, this is a lot of damage. Like, Joonas is down to 6. And it does not take much for Daniel to find something good here. So he'll start by sacrificing a Mana Dog to kill the Dryad. Something you can do is actually like target your own Strangler guys with the Mana Dog, and then sacrifice the Strangler guys to kill the Dryad.
Okay.
That way you net an extra card. And
Okay.
it gives them an extra life.
Okay, that's cool.
But it is dangerous against the Bolt, for instance. Because then
Yeah.
you lose that card again.
Yeah, there are some timing issues here, but maybe that'll come into play here. The timing with the lightning bolt.
Potentially, if Daniel loses all of his Mana Dogs, which are the ones he needs to keep his Strangler guys alive, this Bolt could actually come into play.
And that's where the disguised ninja lightning bolt out of Beseiju could come in handy and could like catch him by surprise.
Yes, that's true.
I
Alright,
always
so
tap like
he is
that.
just sacrificing this bird here.
Yeah.
So turn the Dryad into a one-top this thing. He definitely puts a lot of priority on killing the Dryad because of Valakut here.
Yep.
But he doesn't know that there is a second Dryad waiting. So actually killing this one doesn't really matter that much.
So what we basically discarded as like a bad card to have in hand could end up
Alright,
being
so you can Wooded Foothills for a Dryad Arbor.
okay.
Another way to put a sneaky creature into play for this Valakut deck, or for
Yeah.
this Yawgmoth deck.
Can you quarter calling for 0 and get Dryad Arbor? Yeah, you
Yes,
can, right?
yes,
Yeah,
that's
okay,
also a common play.
that's cool. I want to see that at some point.
Oh, maybe he has drawn the Dryad Arbor though. That's always awkward. Alright, it's there. So yeah, just immediately gets it into play. He has priority first anyway, so it's
Yep.
not like Joonas
Yeah,
can respond.
this works. We're
Okay,
in
so now
Daniel's
Joonas
main
will bolt the Strangler guys, I assume. Yes. And Yawgmoth, you can actually, I learned that very recently, can actually choose 0 targets.
up to 1 target
Yes, so
creature.
you
Okay.
could just sacrifice the guys to draw a card.
Yep.
Because otherwise, you need a target and it would fizzle. Yawgmoth can't target himself because he has protection from himself as a human.
Yep. Protection from human is cool. So now, things need to be done in the proper order here.
Yes, there is. Like, at some point also, like this fast forwarding here is going to be a problem when we have these complicated stacks.
Yeah.
So right now we have
Dryad Arbor's in the yard, but Dryad
Yes.
shouldn't be.
no, Dryad should be in the yard because you sacrificed it to Yawgmoth. Targeting that Dryad.
Yeah.
Yes,
Dryad
sorry.
Arbor is supposed to be there, but Strangleroot guys is supposed to hit the yard before Dryad of Illicent Grove.
Yes.
Because the bolt was in response to the 2/4 Dryad getting targeted with the 4th
Yeah, and
minus
I see
counter.
that the judge like helping him with clarification of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
So that is like also one of the nice things about having a judge is that make
Yep.
sure that like when there is these sort of miscommunications
Yeah.
from the players that it gets resolved.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, indeed Daniel should get to draw an extra card here, from both the Dryad and the Strangler guys dying, but he no longer has an undying creature. Oh, he actually ends up sacrificing the Nurturing Peatland, tapping himself out of green.
I
Well,
noticed that as well. And
yeah.
with Urborg, you didn't have to do that because your forest is a
but
value.
he has floated a bunch of green mana with his Mana Dogs.
Okay, I see.
Yes, that's what those
But
guys
I'm
are
just
indicating.
saying that technically,
Yes.
forest is a better mana cost because that's a bayou. That's a good old dual lane with.
Alright, so plays Yawgmoth, just immediately sacrifices it to draw another card. Tries to see if he can find another Mana Dog, but he finds a Wall of Roots.
That's kind of a mana.
Right, so now I really want to see you're using the Wall of Roots to remove the counter from your Yawgmoth to draw an extra card here.
Yep. That sounds good.
You also, before that though, you float a mana with the wall, of course.
Of course. Can only activate
He's
one
going to
root.
pass. He played a land off for turn, that was the fetch land?
Yeah, Fetchland got Dryad Arbor.
Yeah,
This-
okay,
this
then
turn.
I think it's fine to just pass you, because you can't really draw into a kill anyway.
Okay.
Because you don't have the mana, I don't think.
So, is this another Dryad hitting the battlefield? Okay.
Guys shouldn't die. The guys died to Lightning Bolt. It had a plus counter on it.
Yep. The Geist was already 3/2 that came back once. So,
Alright, so we see now Dryad number 2 coming into play. Not a land drawn for turn, but it was a Sakura Tribalder, which will get a land at instant speed even.
yep.
And right now, Yawgmoth was not able to kill the Dryad, even with his Proliferate ability.
Yep. That is true.
So
More toughness.
now is the time that you... Oh no, but if you try and kill the wolf, what will happen? Yawgmoth will remove the counter from the wolf.
Yeah, that's... So now we actually have...
But Exalted triggers, you're right, the Dryad was a 4/5.
The Geist was the Geist, right?
Yeah, it was a 4-5.
The Geist was a 4-5 because
Doesn't matter though, because Yawgmoth sacrificed it anyway. Daniel could actually just let that bolt resolve.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think both players missed it,
Yes,
or do you think
exactly.
Ninja is at work?
That is the common punt-repunt scenario, where one player punts because they think the board is in a certain way,
Yeah.
and by punting, the other player will also think the board is in that way. Because, it's just intuitive. Like, why would you bolt a 5-4? Of course it's not a 5-4.
Yeah.
Right, so you don't even consider it. And since so much had happened from
I'm gonna steal that punt,
repunt.
repunt. I'm
Yes,
gonna steal
Brad
that.
Nelson.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that because the play is so convincing, and you
Yes.
give your opponent credit, and then
Extremely common.
Yeah.
I've had so many opportunities where I was like swung for lethal and then realized I'm dead to the alpha strike on the way back, but my opponent also like doesn't even think that they can kill me.
Yeah.
Because I'm,
Yeah.
like that. Okay, so anyways, what happened here? Oh, Daniel just sacrificed the wolf to put a counter on the Dryad.
Yeah.
Huh. So it could be that he really values the wall of roots here
Yep.
instead of the Yawgmoth. But he's now flooding out a little bit.
-1/-1 counter is the purple dice
Yes.
represented on the Dryad, so it's a 1/3 at the moment.
Remember that Yawgmoth can actually proliferate. So we don't quite have the mana enough here, because it costs double black.
Yep.
And just got a card to proliferate. And you can sacrifice the wall. So if you float mana with the wall, and then you draw something else, another thing to sacrifice, then maybe you could. Why did he sack end of turn? He didn't sacrifice end of turn. He sacrificed in response to the Valakut trigger from the Valakut.
Which was main phase.
Yeah, so that was
From,
the main phase, Sakura Tribal Lord getting a land, triggering Valakut, because Dryad is in play, so like 6 lands is enough to trigger Valakut.
Yep.
And then he respond to that by sacrificing the Yawgmoth.
That's how I experienced it as well. So it was forced by the Valakut trigger.
Alright, so I wonder if he's passing or if he wants to, because the issue is right now, if there's a Titan coming down,
Yep.
Daniel has no defense.
Is the wish still in Jonas's hand, or did he use it to get a Valakut earlier?
He used it to get Valakut earlier.
Okay.
So that's not a threat right now. He could have drawn a second one, of course.
He could.
We don't know what the other card is.
The
but it's probably like another Titan or something. Daniel is York flooded with 2 in hand. Yeah, that is some of the issues of this deck, right? Because drawing additional Yorks doesn't actually matter. And you have a lot of lands too. Like any creature you draw, like mana dorks, they'll just cycle.
Yep.
So you can be kind of like a storm deck once you're on top of Yawgmoth, where you just like keep cycling through your deck.
For sure.
But any lands and additional Yawgmoths you hit are actually that.
That's usually what happens when you cycle through a lot of cards. You'll end up.
Oh, so now we see fetch land first, then
Okay.
play the Titan, and yeah, Daniel is out of this game.
That's
Now he's
just,
going to show how many lands he's drawn. I think. No. Oh, he's going to show that like if he had an extra land in hand, extra land in play, he would be able to kill the Dryad.
For sure. So, quick question here: with a Dryad in play, do you want to play off the fetch first? You do want to wait. That's more damage, right? Because it actually, if you go get double Valakut on the Titan trigger.
I think what you do is that you play the fetch first, you target the Yawgmoth, then you play the Titan. If Daniel wants to respond by killing the Dryad, then you can in response kill the Yawgmoth.
Oh, it helps having the fetch already in play then.
If you have enough damage anyway, you don't really care. Like if you can clear that board, you're probably fine.
Yeah, so a 2-0 victory. I think those games were very typical Titan shift with the way you kind of have to stave off the opponent's either combo or aggression and then end up somewhere resolving a big spell and everything is good. But a lot of bad things can happen in the meantime.
Exactly, yeah, because he didn't even ramp that much. He had the Dryad, put 1 extra land into play, but the next turn he missed his land drop, basically.
He got thought seized and all of these things you want to do.
You can just kind of grind through the fair game plan usual time. That's like one of the advantages of Valakut. And yeah, we do see Valakut is now at 9-1.
9-1.
Put you in prime position to make the top 8.
According to you, that's
I can't say a lot for sure because there's paradigms he can like lose if he's not able to draw in the last round.
Yep.
But it's looking pretty good for Joonas.
As long as the pairings are decent for him, it looks good.
Too bad for Daniel Lin.
Yeah.
And X and 2, he still can like win the next round and
definitely win the next one, get paired against a player with similar points, do the handshake, and then we'll also see him later. But
how's the backup table doing?
The backup table, that's a very good, very relevant question to ask, Simon. Thank you so much.
Nice. And we already got the life totals too. Awesome. So we see a Blood Moon in play here.
Blood Moon in play.
Which removes access to green mana for Muhammad. Again, remember the names are reversed.
Yep.
We might be able to get that fixed.
Muhammad is on Jund.
John has 1 game 1. Okay. Yep. And we also need to get the names reversed. Oh, he's not here. Okay.
So, yeah. We have an Italian technician trying to fix the names, but until then,
Okay, what are all these cards drawing? Oh, it's Jace the Mind Sculptor being activated.
Jace the Mind Sculptor is doing its thing, and the blue-red deck has access to all of its basic lands, while the Jund deck is playing. Let's say it's relegated to Rakdos mid-range.
We see this here. What's happening here is Ledger Shredder plays second Shredder, trigger the first one,
Yep.
responds Lightning Bolt. Muhammad is not locked out of Lightning Bolt. But both these players are playing really quickly. Because they know that they also have to play game 3. Because
Yep. Jund was up a game.
Tristan on the blue-red deck was very far ahead here.
Yep. Jund was up a game prior to the game we just jumped into, so that means we have a game 3, and that's my favorite part, when you get to watch the game from the start. A lot of context to soak up once you go to like a big board state in the middle of a match, so this is perfect. Yeah, game 3, do you know these players' records?
Yes. This is actually a pair down. So, we have Tristan LeBon, who is at... Oh, wait, actually, no, I think I messed up. I think Christopher Linkso is the Ancient 1 player, and Tristan LeBon lost to him last round.
Okay.
So, Tristan is at...
That's the blue-red player?
Yes. He is at 21 points, so that's 7-2.
Yep.
Playing against Mohamed Sadiq, also on 7-2. Tristan just has so good breakers, so that's why this is table 3 in the tournament.
Okay.
So they're really high up in the standings anyway.
That's
Or
perfect.
at least Tristan is. Mohamed is actually like not doing well with his breakers. So this is not a case of if Tristan loses, he could still sneak in potentially on X3.
But for Mohamed, it's do or die.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
He has to win this, has to win the next round.
Perfect.
Potentially win the last one as well. Yeah. We already had Nazareno on the feature match area.
The Italian,
He is
the Italian tech guy fixed it. Yes.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, we had Nazar on the feature match last round. He is 6-3 though. He did win, but his breakers are probably not good enough to make top 8 anyway, even if he wins out today.
Okay. But I didn't tell him that.
No.
In the interview, I didn't tell him that. He was so happy. It was an awesome time.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good. Hey, probably cool to win with like your own deck, right?
Yeah, exactly. We got to hear a little about how he developed the deck, etc. And practiced a lot and lost a lot in the beginning, and now wins a lot. I think that's just awesome. Sticking with a deck you really love, you want to work on it. It's still alive despite, people talking about, oh, information travels so fast, the sky's falling, everybody's net decking, etc. But you should try and go to a paper, legacy, modern, whatever tournament. It's very diverse. It's alive and kicking. Game 3, Jund versus Murktide. So we saw some black-red mid-range decks on the metagame chart. What's the reason to be in green aside from red and 6? Tarmogoyfs?
Yes. Yeah, Tarmogoyfs and Red and 6 is the reason.
Yep.
The good thing about, so the red-black mid-range decks do not run Ursa Saga, but the Jund ones do. The reason is that Ursa Saga both is really good at buffing up the Goyf, and you can get it back with Red and 6.
Yep. Yeah, so you're the best Ursa Saga deck.
Yeah, because you can just keep making constructs
Yep.
with that engine. That's actually pretty
Also see some Assassin's Trophy. It's a card you hate to play, but sometimes you just need like a catch-all. You're never as a mid-range player, you're not really excited about giving your opponent resources.
Oh, yeah, those are in the sideboard, yeah.
They're in the
But they
sideboard.
might come into kill with the Blood Moons, for instance.
Yeah,
And the Murktides, for that matter. Like those.
I was mainly looking
Jace,
for
you
like
know?
reasons to be green, so that was
Oh,
another
sure.
one.
Yeah.
Some Besageus free rolled in here.
Veil of Summer, too, in the sideboard.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Very good in the discard
Yeah, so
mirror.
I think this deck is... there's also a single Clothis and 2 Endurance in the main deck.
Wow, even 2 endurance.
Yeah. Just handwritten on here.
So that makes a lot of sense if he smashed a lot of like Murktide decks prior. That's
yeah,
a
because
lot of
Endurance is very good against
lot of good card against.
Alright, so now we see turn 1 discard spell, I assume. Or maybe Tristan's just kind of showing his hand, just to even the playing field. Being like, yeah, I mean,
Detection probe is not legal.
Just want to scoop right now. I have all these cards. But no, that is not what's happening. That is a Thoughtseize indeed. And there's a Magus of the Moon, a Murktide, Counterspell, Spell Pierce, Consider, and Mishra's Bubble. We see a
Did you name Subtlety?
Oh, Subtlety, not Murktide.
Yeah, that's a subtlety.
So first of all, Tristan didn't Spell Pierce the Thoughtseize. He kept a one-lander because he expects that with the Consider and the Bubble, he can flip the land drop
Yeah.
for the Counterspell turn too.
That's definitely one of the reasons. The others is
So-
when you're playing against black mid-range, you assume to get like Thoughtseize or Inquisition. So
But he actually can't Spell Pierce. This is turn 1 on the play, of course.
that land is just in the
Yeah,
hand. Yeah.
it is just in the hand.
Yeah.
Now he takes
You
away the Spell
fooled
Pierce.
me for a second. That was like
So,
it's a refund.
Yeah.
Fooled me.
So yeah, this just land go of course. Oh, wait, land go of course. He's not. Did the bubble get taken? No, the spell got taken to protect. I assume a Ren 6 or Liliana.
He's keeping the bauble. Could be because of
He
like
drew a Electric Shredder.
yeah. So
Right?
you have like your second spell
Yes,
ready.
that's probably the only reason you would keep a bubble there when you're missing your second land drop.
Yep.
And there we go, Electric Shredder, and then play a bubble trigger. You
Yep.
have a lightning bolt.
So he definitely drew the shredder. Decided to lean on the consider to find a second land, keeping the bauble to get a little bit of
That
tiny more
pace,
value.
right? He passed the turn immediately. He drew the Electric Shredder, and he just knew
Yep.
that he should change his plan.
It's not his first rodeo.
Definitely not. Tristan has been playing so crisply all weekend, and there's a reason that he is still sitting at 7-2 here
Yep,
at the tournament.
no doubt. Great play. You have to think about even more things with Ledger Shredder in the list now, like see bubble wise.
Yeah. So okay. So now we hit the second green here, so we can just play endurance. And Mohammed decides to go for endurance main phase.
Yeah,
here.
the proactive. Wow.
Whoa.
So that means he even found a Murktide on Tristan's side of the table since he's protecting
Probably
the
yeah,
start
because he's going to
so
protect his
heavily.
green.
Oh my goodness.
And again, just snap it off, right? Like,
yeah, it's so quick.
So he's going to attack just for 2 because he's going to tap out for a Murktide, maybe.
This is a 212 player modern tournament. We're currently on day 2, getting closer and closer to the top 8.
I think I actually like 224ish because there was also buys.
Oh,
Who got
okay.
in later. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was just
Well, he gets to slam the Magus off the moon, and that knocks out the endurance. That was his game plan.
so blanking the endurance. So which player chooses where the card goes?
The player who has to put it back. So yeah,
So he basically got
he put
fooled
it.
into.
Yeah, exactly. He put it on
Wow.
top, even though he knew there was a Magus coming. Remember that?
Oh, he saw it on turn 1.
True. On the
Okay.
So now he just goes to main phase the endurance
Oh.
again.
Build your own Tormod script here, basically.
So he gets attack for 4 here, and Mohammed is already down to 9. Like turn 1 fetch Thoughtseize. That's a lot of damage.
Great,
Oh.
great.
And yes, it's
Great
Target
draw.
Mansion
Well,
gets hit here.
up
I
until
assume
the-
they're really close to time when you see this pace of play, actually. This is not just like playing.
I agree. It's
fun
two
for fun.
players who want to get finished on
I think
time.
Kristen has another counterspell in hand. And yeah,
Endurance do not
fine.
exile. That is true, but yeah, putting it on the bottom, removing it from the yard. That's
Yeah.
like the concept.
Oh, and an unholy heat here, and there's no bolt for Mohammed, so he goes to 1 life here. And
I actually wanted to check how many red removal spells are in the Jund deck because if you lean on Fatal
there's like
Pushes,
1 Fury and 3 Lightning Bolts.
no,
And then there's 2 Fatal Push as well.
no
So-
heat.
No heat, yeah.
Okay,
He's not packing the heat.
not
But it
packing the
seems-
heat.
He also has, I guess, Chandra on the sideboard, which
Yeah, so Magus of the Moon. I mean, I would also bring it in. It's gonna be great sometimes and just die to a lightning bolt or not do anything. A lot of
And
Yeah.
the power of Ledger Shredder and Magus just gets there, and Tristan is excited to win this
yeah,
match. This match
he
goes
should
real
be
fast.
because he played like a master. He
Yeah,
played-
he like under the time pressure where you have to play so quickly. He like still managed to like change up his plan
Yep.
and like make sure like he sees it at main phase endurance, something you can't really expect to happen. But he immediately knew, no, I'm going to solid that, trap the card on top,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to play Magus, and that way like he can actually replay it because there's only one
like
forest.
offering your opponent to make a bad strategic decision is also a huge part of Magic because where do you
Yeah.
want to put that endurance? Well, since you dealt with it, it's probably good, so I'm gonna put it on top. Well, maybe do you think he forgot about the moon or did he?
Yeah, I think he forgot. I think what happened here, by the way, because as I said, there was a lot of sloppy play. Stuff like forgetting about the Magus, for instance.
Yeah.
These players, they probably had like 5 minutes left in the round before time.
Yeah.
And they do not want to get a draw right now.
Yeah, so
They
the
wanna-
context is like stress. You're
Yes.
playing at a tournament.
Also, why the Graveyard got exiled instead of putting on bottom.
Oh, it got it. That's why it was said in
Yes.
the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't actually matter because like there was no. I don't think it was fetched. It matters a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's
It wasn't technically correct.
no, it was technically incorrect, but like the players are moving fast, and it's a very forgivable mistake.
Yeah.
For that reason, like even like the most like consistent player, like
Yeah.
when you have to play at lightning speed, it's like speed chess.
Yep.
Speed chess is fun because people mess up.
Yeah.
All the time, and this
For
is
sure.
magic.
I think it's great to put it into perspective. Like, so people watching at home, they're sitting there in their comfy chair, their coffee. But these guys, they have sweat on their forehead. They know they're on camera.
Mm-hmm.
They want to finish the round. They know a draw isn't going to do them much good. It's just, I think it's good with that context. That's also why like Paper Magic has that extra layer of pressure, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get the winner for a quick interview, but I also respect if they don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I am going on vacation.
You are.
Right now.
So this is actually, I have to send you off, Simon,
You have to send me off.
Yeah.
You have to do this without me for
for the rest of the day. At
yeah,
least.
the,
But
the last 2 rounds and the top 8 here.
it's been a huge pleasure. What's like your favorite moment from the weekend? Do you have anything like that stands out? Why did you enjoy yourself here?
I really love to see that Valakut player just act like Joonas Himmanen just like crush his way through all opponents. That was super sweet to watch.
Yeah.
Also, like like getting to 4 of the tournament on Friday, where I also watched him, and
Yep.
yeah, like sometimes you just like play Valakut a lot, and he said he's playing Valakut for like quite a while.
Okay.
There's the key to modding, right? Like, you
Yeah.
know your deck, and he's just like been having a great weekend. With
Yeah. So aside from the magic, we obviously also had a good time, laughs in the room, and just walking around, seeing people. we
Yeah,
haven't
it's
talked
nice
to
to
for-
have a big event again. I mean, I really miss this. Like going over these like standings, like trying to figure out like okay, who can make it at which scores, which
Yeah.
decks are doing well. Like I just enjoyed that so much.
Yeah.
Just getting the whole overview of the entire tournament.
Yeah, and I hope the viewers enjoyed that part as well. I certainly did. Simon, thank you so much for coming this weekend. We will steer the ship to shore without you, but
Yes.
we really appreciated your help up to this point.
I'll be watching from you.